All right, shalom, shalom. I'm going to start off this video by giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah HaKwadash, and double honors to the elder apostles and the elder bishops, a great millstone that rule well, teach well, while learn his truth, 100% according to the Bible. Also want to say shalom to the elect, the 144,000 men, prophet, servants, scattered abroad the four corners of the earth. And shalom to you, Akwaf, which are you few sisters out there that are sincere, your children, shalom. And in today's lesson, as you can see, is going to be building off of this video I got here. And I'm actually titled today's video, Esau is showing his horns, right? Because ultimately, I'm going to allow this video to play. And as we get into it, you're going to see just the hate that Esau truly has for Jake. And this devil right here, he's going to show it in this video of the things that he's going to say. So I'm going to just get straight into it. We're going to listen to what it is he's saying. And I'm going to grab a few precepts and Lord's willing, it'd be edifying. But with that being said, fair use. I'm not getting paid for this video.
If somebody was coming into our church and they're black, and would they be eligible for membership in our church? Yes, they of course they would. They'd be eligible for membership in our church. But would they be permitted to participate in, embody, and practice what I would call black culture generally in our church? The answer is absolutely not. Why? Because the characteristics that mark black culture as a generalization, in the same way Paul's talking about Cretans on Crete, they are evil, murderous, violent, bestial people. They steal, they kill, they destroy, they look like Satan in how they act. They are sinful to the core. They have besetting sins that are like fatherlessness, sexual immorality. They molest children at a high rate. All of any criminal statistic that you could look at, almost.
Right. And you know that Esau is lying, because when you actually look into statistics of, the amount of crime that ultimately occurs here in Babylon, the Great America, all of those things in which it is he just listed, so-called white men, they exceed in those numbers, man. But like I said, this devil's the accuser of thy brethren, as it tells you in the scriptures. And he always got to try to make Jake appear to be the face of wickedness, man. You see, that's what these devils do. And I'm actually go to a precept just touching on that, because ultimately we know why all of this is about, man, because this ultimately goes back to the birthright of why Esau has that hate towards Jake. Right. And I'm actually go to Genesis chapter 27, and I'm going to start at verse 36, and I'm going to read on down. It says, and he said, is not the rightly named Jacob, for he hath supplanted me these 2 times. He took away my birthright, and behold, now he hath taken away my blessing. And he said, hast thou not reserved a blessing for me? Right. Verse 37. And Isaac answered and said unto Esau, behold, I have made him thy Lord, and all his brethren have I given to him for servants. And with corn and wine have I sustained him. And what shall I do now unto thee, my son? Right. Verse 38. And Esau said unto his father, hast thou but one blessing, my father? Bless me, even me also, O my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. Right. Verse 39. It says, and Isaac his father answered and said unto him, behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth and of the dew of heaven from above. You see, and ultimately that's what Esau has now, because as it tells us in Job 9:24, the earth is given over into the hand of the wicked. You see, so you Edomites are the ones that are in power, man. You're the ones that's ultimately pushing out all of the music and all of the different things that ultimately has Jake in the state of mind that they're in now. You see, you created YNs and 2/3 and all of these peoples that ultimately he's saying is the problem. Hey, the things that you done pushed and forced upon them is what ultimately got them in the state of mind that they're in. So like I said, this man is the devil, man. You see, he creates the problem, then blames Jake for ultimately what it is that he created. Right. So I'm going to finish reading. It says, verse 40, and by thy sword shalt thou live, and shalt serve thy brother. And it shall come to pass, when thou shalt have the dominion, that thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck. Right. Verse 41. It said, and Esau, which is the so-called white man today, hated Jacob. Right. And we see that happening now, man. They're showing it more and more. You see, that's why you got devils like Stephen Miller, you see, and all type of other different, Edomite, politicians, or whether they be spokespeople. They're just ultimately rising up and basically showing the disdain and the hatred that they has for Jake. You see, and like I said, it's going to get worse and worse, because we know that ultimately that we're in the times of Jacob's trouble, man. And that's why you're just going to continue to see these devils showing the hate that they have towards you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians, man. You see, because it tells us also, let me grab that precept and I'm going to come back. I got to grab that. This is Ecclesiasticus chapter 12, right? And I'm going to start at verse 10. but I really want to get to 11, which is the point. It says, never trust thine enemy, for like his iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. And we know that the worse of that iron rusteth, the worse it becomes. And that's the same thing with this devil, man. Right? As it tells us right here, this verse 11, though he humble himself and go crouching, right? Yet take good heed and beware of him. And thou shalt be unto him as if thou hast wiped the looking glass. And thou shalt know that his rust, representing his wickedness, have not been altogether wiped away. And that's what you so-called Negro, Latino, Native American Indians are seeing, man. You're seeing that this man is the devil that the Bible speaks of. And ultimately, the men of the Lord, you see the prophets of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, starting off with the elder apostles and the elder bishops of the great millstone. We warned you that this man hates you, Jake, and that he looks at you as the problem, that this man does not like you. You see, because a lot of our people, they believe in their mind that this man has good intentions for them, that he loves them because, like I say, he give them jobs, he give them government assistances, he allow you to work and do certain little things, so Jake believe in their mind that this devil has changed, that he's not still that same devil that, just 50, 60 years ago was spraying Jake down with hose pipes and you couldn't even go in the store and eat with these devils, man. You see, a lot of our people think that they have changed from that mindset. But no, these are the same devils, man. And like I said, we're in that time where guess what? They're showing it, man. And it's only going to get worse, right? So I'm going to get back to Genesis chapter 27 and I'm going to get back at verse 41, right? And it says, and Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him. And Esau said in his heart, meaning his mind, the days of mourning for my father are at hand. Then will I slay my brother Jacob. Right. And this is that same spirit that Esau Edom is in, man. The so-called white man. He's in that spirit of constantly trying to slay Jake, man. Set up snares, lay traps, all type of different things to try to, kill Jake, man. That's just the spirit that these devils are in. And like I said, now they're showing it more prevalently because guess what? We're at the time of the end, man. These devils are getting ready to go down and they know it. So now they're, about to show those horns times 10, man. You see? That's why they're just blatantly showing the hate that they have for you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians. They're not even trying to hide it, man. Right? So I'm going to finish reading. This is verse 42. It says, and these words of Esau, her elder son, were told to Rebekah. And she sent and called Jacob, her younger son, and said unto him, behold, thy brother Esau is touching thee, doth comfort himself, proposing to kill thee. You see? And like I said, that's the same spirit that Esau Edom is in now, man, that he ultimately wants to, justify having a reason to delete you Jakes, because ultimately that's just what he wants to do anyway, man. That's what this devil craves off doing, putting down you Israelites, man. That's what this man takes pleasure in doing. And he needs to justify himself. That's why you keep having what I said earlier, people like Stephen Miller and all of these other different so-called politicians that are coming out and basically trying to condemn Jake and make Jake the face of terror so that when they come down heavy upon Jake, it'll be justified, man. You see? And ultimately, it's really Yahweh Shem Yahushua, man. You see, because the Lord is ultimately tired of the wickedness that is happening among his people, man, especially the 2/3 of our nation, man. They're absolute degenerates, absolutely wicked. So, hey, the Lord going to allow this devil to come down, man. You see, but this is what we ultimately see everything being set up for. Jacob's trouble, man, which is soon fastly approaching, man. Right. So I'm actually grab a precept just going into that, you see, because like I said, this is what it all goes back to, man. You see this devil hating Jake. Right. This is Proverbs chapter 16, and I'm going to start at verse 4. It says, the Lord, all caps, the Heavenly Father, have made all things for himself, yea, even the wicked, which is Esau, for the day of evil. And this is that evil time that we're in, man. You see, so like I said, like his iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. So guess what? We're in the beginning stages of Jacob's trouble. And these devils are just going to continue to show their hatred for you Israelites, man. You see? And eventually it's going to get to the point where, hey, like this guy saying in the video that I'm allowed to play, he's basically saying that, Jake basically need to be put to death, man. You see, that's what he's basically saying, but he's saying it in like a covert way. But that's really what he's saying, that, Jake need to just basically start getting put to death. But mind you, that just goes to show you the hate that they have. Because mind you, they're not saying any other group of people, man. Right here it is. You got all type of people in this country that are doing wicked things. You see Edomites that are doing things, Ishmaelites, all type of different people. But like I said, they always got to point the finger at Jake. Like Jake is the one that's the only one that's committing crimes, man. You see, but like I said, this man is the damn devil. You see, and he's showing it, right? And I'm going to grab that precept as well, too, man. Because like I said, this is the time that we're in. That's why we constantly continue to keep bringing out these same precepts, man, because this is what time and season we're in. Revelation chapter 12, verse 12, it says, therefore rejoice ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil, which is Esau, the so-called white man, is come down unto you. Who is that you? That's mainly talking about you Israelites, who this man has that perpetual hatred for. Having great wrath, meaning extreme anger, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. Like I said, these devils know that their queendom is coming to an end, man. They know that they're about to be out of power. They know that they feel it slipping away from their hands. And like I said, this man is getting ready to, turn violent, man, because ultimately what does people do when they feel backed into a corner and they got nothing to lose? They behave erratically. And that's what we see these Edomites doing, because they're desperate. They know their time is running out, man. You see? So you about to see these devils, doing all type of things, man. Right? But I'm going to get back into the video and we're going to just listen to more of it. But yeah, like I said, we're in that time of season, man, where these devils are showing their hatred, man. You see? And it's only going to get worse, It's only going to get worse. All right? So bear with me while I pull back up the video real quickly. You see? Bear with me.
Not. Why? Because the characteristics that mark black culture as a generalization, in the same way Paul's talking about Cretans on Crete, they are evil, murderous, violent, bestial people. They steal, they kill, they destroy, they look like Satan in how they act. They are sinful to the core. They have besetting sins that are like fatherlessness, sexual immorality. They molest children at a high rate. All of any criminal statistic that you could look at, almost pretty much without exception, they excel at them. Black culture. So when we make this generalization, one of the purposes of it, one of the points of utility for it, is for black people who do not embody that culture to repudiate it, hate it, and also for policymakers to make the kind of political movements and in terms of law and order that would usher in the change over time of that culture. One of them would be something like, I tweeted about this, the law of Moses in Deuteronomy 21 concerning a rebellious child. If 5 to 6% of black, I think it's something like 5% of black males are murderers.
Yeah, 5% of young Africans are committing the bulk of the murders.
So if you had 100 black men in a room, even just, I think specifically, if you had 100 black men in a room, 5 of them would have committed murder, which is a lot, quite a few.
What is Matt Walsh pointed out, the actual number of blacks who are committing murder is more than whites, and whites are significantly greater.
60% compared to 13%
percentage of the population. Yeah.
So if you take that, then you took a law like Deuteronomy 21.
Right. And you hear what it is they're saying. And like I said, everything these devils are saying is lies, because ultimately we know that when Esau commits a crime, that it doesn't go on the news. They make sure to not put it in the news, you see, or not to put it on all of these different news sites and plaster it everywhere when Esau does something. But as soon as Jake does something, you see, they're going to put it on the news every time. Because like I said, this man is fully setting him to, make Jake look like the bad guy, you see, to make Jake look like the wicked, man, you see, because this man is a hypocrite, man. This man is the devil. That's why he's called the accuser, man. You see, a deceiver. That's what this man does, man, And like I said, he created black culture, man. Everything that ultimately Jake take heed to and, ultimately partake in and the way that they behave, that was all given to them by Esau, man. You see, Esau created all of that. But like I said, that was what this man does. You see, he creates the problem, you see, then blames Jake for the reason of why things are the way that they are for something he created. Right. But like I said, ultimately, everything that we see happening is ultimately ushering in Jacob's trouble. Like I said, that's really all it boils down to, really, because we are in the times of Jacob's trouble. That's why you see everything going on in Chicago now with ICE and how they're snatching Southern Kingdom out of the apartment complexes and rounding them up, putting them in vans and all of these different things. Everything is being set because, like I said, we're in the time of Jacob's trouble. And ultimately, Yahweh Shah is about to unleash these devils upon you 2/3 Jakes, man. You see, you wicked Israelites out there that are not trying to do right, that are not trying to repent and turn back to the Lord. Hey, the Lord going to unleash these madmen, these damn devils upon you, man. right? And ultimately, we warned you, man. We told you this man was the devil and that he despises you. You see? So I'm actually go to another precept real quick that I got. This is Ezekiel chapter 21, and I'm going to start at verse 8. It says, again, the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, right? Verse 9. Son of man, prophesy and say, thus saith the Lord, say a sword is sharpened, and also furbished. Who's that sword? That's Esau. That's the so-called white man, right? As I just read earlier in Genesis, that was his blessing, right? And that sword is sharpened, man, right? And I'm going to read verse 10. It said, it is sharpened to make a sore slaughter, right? It is furbished that it may glitter, right? And that's ultimately talking about this devil getting ready to come down the way he's about to come down upon you Jakes in these times we're in, man. That's what it's talking about, which that's a double-fold scripture because it's also going into the ultimate sword, which is the nuclear missiles. But in this case, it's going about Esau. You see, he's the sword as well on the left-hand side, right? But it says, should we then make mirth, right? And ultimately, that's that spirit that you got our people in. Here it is. These devils are ultimately plotting and conjuring up plans on how they're about to oppress you, Jake, how they're about to ultimately try to eradicate you. And what is our people in the spirit of doing? Mirth, having fun, partying, celebrating, shaking their ass, dancing for TikTok, doing all type of, folly, man. You see, bull stuff that doesn't even matter, right? So they don't see all of these things that are ultimately being, orchestrated around them, man. Even though the men of the Lord, the prophets, were warning them of these things, were telling them what's getting ready to come down the pipeline, but yet our people are not listening, man, right? It said, it contemneth the rod of my son as every tree. You see? Verse 11, it said, and he hath given it to be furbished that it may be handled. This sword is sharpened, and it is furbished to give it into the hand of the slayer. Who is the slayer? The so-called white man, Esau, Edom. Because we know that as it tells us in Revelation chapter 6, verse 4. All right, I'm going to grab that. That's what this man was created to do, man. He was created to be the wicked. He was created to be the devil. He was created to, as it says in his precept. And there went out another horse that was red, representing Esau, right? It tells you that in Genesis how he came out red all over. And power was given to him, right? Because he was given this power by Yahweh, by Shem Yahushua. You see, the Lord set this man up in power, man. You see? That sat there on to take peace from the earth. And that's what he's been doing since he's been empowered, man. Taking peace from the earth. And soon, like I said, him knowing that he had but a short time, he's about to take the peace from this place, America, away as well, right? And he's going to do it by, like I said, coming after you Israelites, who he's making the problem of why America is in the state that is in. You see, even though it's really them, because they're the reason their damn country is failing, and ultimately it's the Lord that's doing it, because like I said, this devil is running out of time. But like I said, he's going to blame Jake for everything, man. Right. So, like I said, that'll give him any excuse to come down heavy like he's about to come down. He want to justify it so that it ultimately looks right of what he's doing. You see, because this man's an egomaniac. You see, he got to make himself feel in his mind that what he's doing is the right thing, which is completely wicked. But, like I said, the Lord going to allow this man to do these things because 2/3 of our people are absolute degenerates, you see, and wicked. So the Lord going to allow this man to, come down heavy the way that he's about to come down, to punish 2/3. So it says, and that they should kill one another, and that was given unto him a great sword. That sword again, which is his blessing, right? This is back at Ezekiel chapter 21. I'm going to read verse 12. It said, cry in house, son of man, for it shall be upon my people, right? You so-called Negro, Latino, Native American men and women. It shall be upon all the princes of Israel, Salakia. Terrors by reason of the sword. You see, so the sword is about to bring terror, which is this so-called white man, and he's about to bring terror upon you Jakes, man. And like I said, we've been warning you of this. We've been telling you that these things are coming. We've told you that these people are the devil, you see. And we told you, Jake, that this man does not like you, you see. But what does our people do? They continue to trust in this devil. They continue to think this man is their friend. They continue to think that, oh, the so-called white man will never do that. He'll never harm us. He'll never do this and that, right? But, hey, you niggas about to see, man. We're going to see if this man loves you, right? And like I said, look what's happening now with the Northern Kingdom, how they're getting snatched up by ICE and all of the different things that they're going through. And now you got this devil snatching up Southern Kingdom Jakes in Chicago, like I said earlier. So, I mean, you Jakes want to continue to keep believing this man is your friend, man, until he, rounding you up, throwing you into a concentration camp or something like that. Then that's when Jake gonna understand that this man is the devil. You see, once he comes down upon you, right? But it says, terrors by reason of the sword shall be upon my people. Smite therefore upon thy thigh. You see? So like I said, that's what ultimately all of this is leading up to, man. The time of Jacob's trouble, the time of these devils coming in like a flood, man. Like I said, that's what they're setting the stage for. That's why you're going to continue to see these Edomites, right, continuously, make, have like little interviews and stuff like this. And they're going to continue to keep painting the narrative that Jake is the problem in America, right? Because like I said, they want to have justification to come down heavy like they're about to come down, man. They want to be justified in their mind that we're doing the right thing, deleting these animals, as they call us, or savages, because that's really how they look at Jake, man. You see? And you 2/3, that's exactly how you're behaving, man, like savages, But I'm going to grab this precept as well, because like I said, this is ultimately Yahweh Shem Yahushua who is doing these things, man. The Lord is controlling this devil, man. And the Lord is putting the spirit on Esau to get in that spirit that he's in, right? Because like I said, the Lord is going to use this man to judge you 2/3, man, right? Isaiah chapter 10, verse 5. O Assyrian, the modern day Assyrian is Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. The rod of mine anger and the staff in their hand is mine indignation, right? Verse 6, it said, I will send him against a hypocritical nation. That's talking about you 2/3 Israelites. And against the people of my wrath will I give him a charge to take the spoil and to take the prey and to tread them down like the mire of the streets. And how is that going to happen? Via their military. And like I said, we see the beginning stages of that now, with all of these National Guard troops that are being deployed to these different variant cities throughout America. But soon to come, it's going to be all over America. And hey, they're going to be just snatching people up, man, especially you Israelites. These are the times that are coming. These are the things that we're warning of, man. And like I said, we see it playing out in front of our face. You see? So I'm going to get back into the video and we're going to just watch the rest of it. But like I said, these devils are showing their hate, you see, for you tribes, man. And it's only going to get worse. Like I said, they're only going to get worse, right? Because these devils know their time is up, man, right?
Law that God enacted through Moses. The law was that if you had a rebellious son, you have a child they're coming up into their manhood and they're rebellious, they don't listen. He lists some characteristics and even though they're disciplined, they will not turn. He says
and this man is the devil, because mind you, these Edomites don't care about the scriptures, man. The scriptures are not even for you people, man. You see, but like I said, that just shows you how demonic this man truly is. He used the scriptures when it applies or it fits his narrative that they're ultimately trying to push. You see? So like I said, these people are the fucking devil, man. You see? And the Lord is going to judge you devils real soon, man. So like I said, yeah, Jacob's trouble is going to happen, but the Lord is going to pay you Edomites back for everything that you've done, man. You devils are not getting away with anything, man. Right? Let me go to a precept on that real quick too as well. I'm going to go to Ezekiel chapter 35, right? Because you devils' time are running out, man. And I'm going to start at verse 1. It says, moreover, the word of the Lord, Yahweh Shem Yahushua, came unto me, saying, verse 2, son of man, set thy face against Mount Seir, you Edomites, and prophesy against it, right? And that's what we're doing. We're prophesying against you devils and telling you that, hey, we know that Jacob's trouble and all of these things must happen, but you're still going down, man. You see? It says, verse 3, and say unto it, thus saith the Lord power, behold, O Mount Seir, I am against thee, you see, and I will stretch out my hand against thee, and I will make thee most desolate, you see, because the Lord is going to destroy this place, America, man, right? And take down you devils, right? Take down your rulership, you see, and you devils going head first into captivity, man, right? That's what's coming for you Edomites, right? Verse 4, it says, I will lay thy cities waste, and thou shalt be desolate, and thou shalt know that I am the Lord, right? Verse 5, this is why I wanted to get to this precept. It said, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity, in the time that their iniquity had an end, you see? So that's why the Lord is going to take you devils down, man. You see, of course, the Lord is going to use this man on the left hand to, take out the 2/3, because that's just ultimately their lot. But you devils still are going to pay for everything that you've done, man. You see? And I'm going to actually go to another precept on that. I'm going to go to Obadiah chapter 1, right? And I'm going to just read verse 10, right? Because this is what's coming for Esau, man. It says, for thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever, man. That's complete eradication. Because ultimately, after you devils are brought down, you see, and you serve your punishment of slavery for 1,000 long, drawn-out years that's coming for you, then eventually you're going to be eradicated. No more to be remembered. That's what's coming for you Edomites, man. You see? So live it up, because it's almost over for you, all right? So I'm going to get back into the video.
they're disciplined, they will not turn. He says the fathers to bring them out into the town square. This is a rebellious son, and then they stone him to death. They kill him.
And an armed robber would certainly be one of those.
Oh, absolutely. Armed robber, all the ghetto
Violent
culture.
crime.
Basically, take ghetto culture, it would describe this to a T. If you did that over 3 generations, how much violent crime would you have in the 3rd and 4th generation? Much, much less. What we've done instead is we've actually, with unjust weights and measures, we have wildly penalized whites for even virtuous acts in lawfare. And we have done everything because liberals have appointed blacks to positions of power, and they're practicing ethnic and racial in-group preference. Like the several black women who were involved in releasing DeCarlos, got the murderer in the Charlotte.
I think 14
times.
Yeah, something like that.
His younger brother was a murderer in prison. His father was a violent criminal. Okay, so there's 2 sons and a father. If they'd cut that line off back the generation or 2 before, there's no DeCarlos to slit the throat. But what we have instead are, and in this case, the double whammy of black female judges, politicians who have appointed these sorts of people.
The mayor of Charlotte, for example.
The mayor of Charlotte, like if you look at who appointed the judge and the judge that released him, it's 2 black women. Okay. And what did they do? They said, oh, it's mental health, it's homelessness, it's this, it's that. It's not a criminal tendency of black males that needs to be cut off through the wielding of the sword by the civil magistrate.
Right. And you hear what it is he just said. And like I said, mind you, he's only talking about Jake. You don't see him mention any other, group of people. No Edomites, no Ishmaelites, no Moabites. Like I said, you got many other people in this country that are, deleting people at a large scale as well. But like I said, they always point out Jake as being the problem, right? Because like I said, these devils, they despise you Israelites, man. And like I said, they're going to show it more and more and more as time progresses, man. As we get closer and closer to all hell breaking loose and things really heating up the way it's about to get out here soon come, the more these devils are going to show their hatred, man. All right? But with that being said, Lord's willing, I pray this video be edifying to you brothers and you few sisters that may come across it. With that being said, all praises to you. Double honors to the elder apostles and the elder bishops, a great millstone that rule well, that teach well while learning the truth 100% according to the Bible. To the next time, I'm going to say shalom to the elect. Shalom.